Is earning 10,000 ringgit a month enough for Malaysians? Well, this Malaysian father thinks otherwise. Basically, he said that he has a family and 10K, I assume in Klang Valley, is not good enough. I also recall he's close to 50 years old.
Around, you can say 40, 50.
Yeah. Too busy to find stock ideas? Check out Fire Pro to shortcut your research time and effort by 90%. 10% off link in the comments and description. Okay, so some context that he has a wife and 2 primary school age children, right? So that's an important detail because it means that the big expenses for kids is coming up, right? At least 6-7 years.
Yep, correct. And also we're going to be sharing with you guys the problems that he's facing and also some of the suggestion that probably for those who are experiencing similar problems like him, our thoughts. Hopefully it can help you ease up the burden a little bit based on our suggestion. Well, we are not financial experts, we're not professionals, but just hear us out, right? So the first one is about the family, right? So he has a wife and also 2 primary school age children. Now this is a problem because he is the sole breadwinner in the family.
That's another important detail.
Yes. So 10K, when he make 10K, essentially that month, I think at the start or at the end of the month, 10K is basically just wipe out everything. He has zero money to save. Essentially, it's all for the necessities.
Yeah, I mean, we can run through very quickly, right? The kind of expenses later. I mean, house and car alone is, I mean, if you're very disciplined, it's still at least 3K, 3-4K, right?
It will be almost like half already. And then you haven't talked about groceries.
Well, to be clear, at 10K, your take home is closer to, I think, 8.3 or something like that, 8.5.
Assuming
8.3.
EPF takes, the
EPF taxes as well. Yeah. So you take 3 to 4 off, that's almost half gone.
Yep, correct. It is indeed quite a very stretched number, especially if you are having a family. But anyway, so here's our suggestion that probably, hopefully, if he's listening to this video, right, that he can take. So number one, it is the solution. Very easy one. It is the wife. Maybe she can like help out a little bit by working as well in a full-time job. So there will be like a dual income. I think this one you suggested when we were actually talking about this thing.
So, I mean, the context is, yes, it's true, a dual income is a solution. However, it's not a solution if your wife cannot earn something similar or maybe 70 to 80% of you. And the reason is this, right? So the costs will actually go up a lot more for your children if you don't have a stay-at-home wife or a stay-at-home parent, because the parent takes care of every other things. But I guess if they're primary school age, it's a little bit better. But if you have young children and your wife is working, you might actually save less. Because of all because now you have to hire a nanny, you have to hire daycare, you have to hire a lot of things, right? Unless you got very generous and understanding parents or their kids' grandparents to take care. So if it's a younger, usually dual income, you actually save less, unless you can earn more than, in this case, right, more than your husband. Then maybe you can consider. Or if you earn so much that your husband don't need to work, right? I want to be the husband as well. Anyways, so side jobs is good, but I would say hopefully it's not something that deteriorates your health a lot, because I mean, we've heard of so many stories, right? Like because of money to take care of the kids, the father will break the backs and just basically spend 12, 13 hours working, and before you know it, he's not even alive anymore.
So I think these side jobs can be some form of like working from home, online kind of like job.
Hopefully,
freelance kind of job.
Especially the wife, right?
Yeah, the wife especially, And then the third one, which is changing job. Well, this one is more obvious. I mean, if let's say the current situation, the pay is not enough, right? Maybe you can take the leap of faith to join a job where you can actually make more income. So in this case, definitely we can say sales and marketing, especially for sales, are the one that is you can earn more because it's results driven, right? So unless you are not confident with that, you don't have the skill sets for sales, then maybe you need to find something else that can pay well as well. And that also means that you require you to actually develop a new skill sets, and then hopefully you can like get into a high paying industry. So that is the problem number one. Problem number two that he mentioned was the rising house expenses, house and car loans, children tuition fees are basically eating up all of the income lah that he's making. So the suggestion we can give is basically number one, I think he needs to like identify what is the state of life he's actually at. Is it like is he comfortable living with 8K net a month, or is he like surviving?
Yeah, I think in this case is I think is actually I'm not sure if he talked about whether he has that. Sometimes people are ashamed to share, but I can tell you, based on simple Klang Valley mathematics, there is a good chance that he is probably racking up some debt right now. And as I explained earlier, if your take home is 8.5, you look at the housing expenses, and I don't know how many cars does he have. Did he say 1 or 2 cars?
No,
let's say 1 car, right? So unless it's a hand-me-down, that car is probably costing him anywhere between 500 to 1,000, maybe more. And then your housing expenses, even if you rent for a family of 4, is still going to be upwards of 1,500.
Yeah,
so let's say
1,500.
it's 3,000 everything. Food for everybody, including your wife, it doesn't work. You're looking at
Another
3,000,
2K,
maybe 2K, right?
around there.
2K, so there's 5K.
5K.
And then if they have tuition fees, I don't know whether they're going to private school. Are they going to private school? I don't know. If they're going to private school, they're basically in debt already every month, right? If they're not going to private school, then maybe the tuition fees can add up to half of what a private school would cost, right? I don't know if you recall how much tuition that you took a week, right? So I know at that point in time, I'll probably costing my mother maybe 200 ringgit a week, because you have like 100 ringgit for maths, 50 for chemistry, 50 for whatever, right?
Yeah, I think also it's
about that, right?
thereabouts,
But this our era is 10 plus years ago, right? So what is it today, right? So you think to all this, I have a feeling he is at survival and he might be racking up some debt. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and then the second one is basically the priority versus social status. We hope that he is not those kind of heavy spender lah. The one that has like a good car. I mean, if he is driving like a very expensive Honda Civic, right? Maybe he downgrade to probably Perodua, Asia, or something else. I mean, don't neglect your priority. I mean, social status won't last forever. Survival at the current state, is crucial for you to actually like go through or weather through another day. So that's also another point. And then the third one is the lifestyle deflation. So he also never share like what is his entertainment cost and whatsoever. So I mean, if you are having like a very expensive sports or hobby, like for instance, you go golfing or whatsoever, right? Maybe, I mean, if it's something that you like, I mean, you can do it in the future when you make more money. But if it's something that is like a routine, right, then probably you want to reduce the amount of time that you do these kind of like expensive hobbies. So yeah, we don't know what is your entire situation. But if that is what you are incurring right now, I mean, you can like consider these few things, which is number one, you need to go for survival, priority, and also do more lifestyle deflation instead of inflation. Okay, so the third problem over here is lots of tax. This one is a given already. Cost is making like 10K. So I did a rough math for him, which is actually adds up post relief. It's going to be around like 9,000 per year. So which means
So actually, he earns he makes money from business rather
income.
than
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
He's not underemployed. So that's the key thing. So yeah, I mean, this is also another trick. If let's say you feel that you're paying a lot of like taxes, right? There's a legal way to do it. Obviously, besides just getting your tax relief, you also can actually see what is the business expense that can be consider as when you're running your operations, right? So yeah, maybe I didn't know about this, but there's this deduction for entertainment expenses also.
Oh yeah,
the food and drinks, right? So you can actually
So
deduct up to 50%.
if I recall, it's about 50%.
Yes, 50%. Some cases.
Some
it's
cars, I think,
100%.
it's a 1/3 or something like that.
Yeah, it depends on the car,
Yeah.
type of car. So yeah, you need to be smart about this financial planning. I learned this the hard way. So if you are thinking that you already not, if you think that you haven't really optimized your business expenses, I mean, maybe you want to consult some like a tax agent so that it can help you fully structure what is the cost to run your business. And then the second one, which is quite interesting, this is recently only, is that our LHDM actually came out with this
Installment,
e-anshuran, which is an installment for you to pay, so that it's not that pain for you to pay every single like 9K of tax
Yeah.
straight away upfront. So you can actually like break down.
But
into
you would
few
have to
months.
pay before you have to make some sort of projection, right, as to how much tax you're gonna pay, and then start paying 1 year in advance, but in smaller amounts.
That's the
Then
CP
they
500. That's CP
So that's
500.
that's
That's the
different, right?
advanced page. Yeah, this
That's
one
the
is
advance. This is after you have determined the tax, then you.
yes, correct. Yeah.
Oh.
So they also allow you to have this kind of installment already. Yeah, so
Good.
it's
And
basically
the installment is what, 12 months?
depends. It's like
Okay.
sometimes 2 months, 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean LHDN is like coming out all of this initiative to actually help reduce the burden. So maybe you can check out for this one, e-insurance. And then next one is disqualified from financial
Yeah,
aid.
so this is a middle class problem, right?
Yes, correct. I mean, unfortunately, that's a fact, right? We don't have much of an aid from the government, but there's actually this thing. If you are actually doing like a SME or like a business, you are making business income, you can actually maybe try to apply for SME financial grant, because they do give some money. If let's say you're running a very small business and you need like fund to actually run your business operation, but I'm not sure what's your eligibility. So this one, you need to check it out yourself. But anyhow, it's very hard already. I mean, this one is from the government, right? If the government give, then good law. If they never give, then too bad. Okay, last but not least, unfair treatment. He also said that he overheard he has a cousin, things like the niece or someone or nephew, works in Singapore, and then he pay tax in Singapore, but then he or she can get aids and subsidy in Malaysia. Yeah, so this is like a loophole. I didn't know.
I don't know
this is.
I don't know what aid he's talking about, but I assume things like subsidies are like what?
I think like
Petrol?
I don't know whether it's petrol or maybe like BKR or something like that. So it's like some people who earns like maybe less than 2K ish, you can get like 100 ringgit per month. Not per month, sorry, like for the specific month, like maybe 3 times a year or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. Like there's all these small little subsidies to give back to the B40s.
Yeah. I think unfair treatment happens in this scenario. It also happens in like I know a lot of rich kids who still take scholarships.
Yeah.
That to me that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And also similar case during I believe it was in COVID or something like that. That money was actually supposed to give to the B40 majority of the people, but somehow the system actually captured some of the T20s, and then they also got the money.
Yeah.
So yeah, it also could be the case. But our suggestion is basically, I mean, you cannot do much also about this.
You can't really do much.
Yeah, you only can voice out and then you just move on. I mean, you don't want to like always think that it's very unfair. I mean, this is, I would say, I mean, it may not sound good, but it's kind of like an envy already, because you are
doesn't solve
jealous.
anything, you know.
Yes, correct. You only can be frustrated just for that short
Maybe
period of
complain
time.
to your MP or something,
Yep.
see whether they can bring it up on Parliament.
Yeah, but anyhow, you need to expect and manage your expectation that this problem might not be solved anytime soon. So the only thing that you can actually work on is things that you can control. So what are the things you can control is your expenses and also the money that you make. So these two are the key. And also the tax, must be smart about your tax payment. I mean, try to like budget and see how much you can spend or like spread out your expenses for that. So these are the only 3 things that you can control. And our final thoughts about this, making 10K, it's difficult, is number one, you need to be resourceful, especially you have a family right now. Don't just think that that's the end of the world or that's like the baseline that you can make already is like 10K. Try to think out of the box. Try to think like what sort of like skill sets you can develop.
I think the fact that he has a business is the biggest like silver lining in this struggle, because it's through business that you can get the income that you want. Whereas if he was
employed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, the advantages of being employed is that you get some sort of stability, predictability, but you can't get that big jump up. So here is, I would say, something positive for him to take away. However, I think based on math, if he has 2 kids, if he wants to send them to private school, let's say if he isn't already, and he wants something a bit more comfortable, I would say 20 to 25,000 is probably where it's at. And assuming he can be tax optimized as well.
And then, then the second one is based on what we have learned, probably he doesn't save much.
Yeah, so this is a snippet out of our SID, right?
program. Yeah. Yes, correct. So I mean, it will be quite tough for you to actually like maybe save 17% if he's at his situation, right? Maybe you can start off with just 5%. I mean, just get started, because if you don't have that safety net, or you don't have that cash, which is the gunpowder. And what if like something's happened to your businesses, right? So that I think it will be quite detrimental. I mean, if you are just focusing more
That's
on
right.
the present and not thinking about the future. So this is something that we share in our SIP program, where a lot of people, what they do or how they allocate their expenses is they first focus on their main expenses over here, which is home, transport, food, insurance, and whatsoever. And then they always put saving and investment as the last one. But in our case, I think a better choice is actually to put the savings and investment as your main priority first, and then only your other expenses. Then from there, you can actually kind of like manage your expenses for your home, transport, food, or insurance. Let's say you have a target of you want to save 20%. Then you net that amount, then you can actually kind of like reverse or like rework again on your costs on how you want to spend your money, whether it's your home, your food and insurance and whatnot. So yeah, this is very crucial, and it's also like a hack or like a tip for you guys if you are struggling to manage your expenses. And also it helps you to build some sort of like delay gratification habits, so that you wouldn't be so needing to spend right now. Like you wouldn't feel like more instantly gratificated to spend like things that you don't need. So that's the second one. Now the last one is Charlie Munger always say this is to avoid envy, and he said that what is good with envy is the only sin that you cannot have any fun. I mean, which is true lah. I mean, if you always complaining about the government not helping you or complaining that there's unfair treatment, it won't solve anything. I mean, you still be at the same position, even though you voice out. Maybe the government may hear you one day or two, but then after that, they'll start to like ignore this issue already. So you have to manage kind of your expectation and just, I mean, you have to take things as it is and only control things that you can control. So in this case, just now we mentioned, find a way to make money, grow your income, and also find a way to actually reduce your expenses. And don't be envy. I mean, I believe if everybody in the world can be don't have any this envy, right? I think the world will be at a better place.
Yep,
Yeah,
100%.
definitely. Yeah. So yeah, that's about it for today's video. And before you guys go, this is our April 2025.
I mean, May will
performance.
be 40% close to.
Yeah, right now it's like 40, yeah, around there, 40%. Hopefully it doesn't dip. Right now there's some sort of like profit taking as of today's recording.
Yeah. But anyways, Fire Pro is a community for you if you're interested in advancing your investing skills. You want a shortcut to good quality research, so that your investment decisions are better and superior. How does that happen? Well, we have written, we have write-ups, short and sweet write-ups for you to understand the important parts about a specific company so that you can make a decision quicker and better. And we also have a reference portfolio for you to see how to construct a good stock portfolio properly. And if you want to get a taste of what it looks like, we have the free sample links in the comments and description. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.